And we're recording.
Hey guys, so welcome to our very first call, Diesel Nation of 2016. Sorry, it's been a long day. So guys, today is a very, very special call. I'm really excited about this, and it's a great honor to have a coach from Tony Robbins here just to speak to us, to our team directly, and help us put action steps behind our goals to crush everything this year, because this is a big year for us. Our team is growing, Beachbody is growing, we have new products coming out, and now is the time to hit the ground running. So pay attention, soak it all in. It will be recorded so you can listen to it as many times as you want. So let's start out one thing, and now that all of you obviously are committed to your business, get to Super Saturday. That's number one. We need a major success. I'm thinking success of Super Saturday. We need a major push for this Saturday. We need you there. We need to fill those seats. We need to show a huge presence in South Florida. You know that our events in Miami are amazing, but we need you to be there with us to celebrate with Sagi, the Masters Hammer and Chisel. We need to show Michael Neiman that we are serious in South Florida, and it's not just a temporary thing, that we bring the numbers every single quarter. Get your teams to Super Saturday. It's super important. Not only that, we have Amy Silverman. We have a ton of elite coaches this year. We need to be there to support our teams and support the family in South Florida. The next thing is make sure that you're reading all the news about the Success Club trip. You're going to hear more about it on Super Saturday, but make sure you know the details and that you know when to register and all the ins and outs. There's a ton of challenge packs on sale this month. Make sure you know and are up to date. In Breaking Coach News, you're going to have all the details. We have 21-day fix, Fix Extreme, the Masters Hammer and Chisel with the Kickstart packages, the refresh. Tons of promotions this month. There's no reason why you can't hit Success Club. I'm sure after tonight, you're going to have the tools to lay down a plan to hit your Success Club goals this month. I'm really excited. Chris, do you want to add anything to that? Did I miss anything?
Just that there's a few new things coming out January 25th. I believe it's the 25th. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I was on the surge last night. It was so exciting. But that we're going to have the single serve packets of Energize and Hydrate. Did you guys see that? I don't know about you, but that was probably like the most exciting thing because I had already known that we're going to Punta Cana. So, I mean, literally when they said the Hard Rock, I almost fell out of my chair because I actually was thinking about planning a trip there. So it's like perfect. But the packets of Energize and Hydrate are coming out. That's going to be super, super amazing. And we're not going to be able to talk to you guys until probably way after Super Saturday. But on January 11th, Cafe Latte launches. Mm-hmm. So it's that time, right? It's that time where a new product is about to launch. We need to start laying the groundwork for it. It's another reason why you should be at Super Saturday, because if you're in Miami and some of the other bigger events across the country, you're going to be able to taste it. In Miami, we're going to actually even raffle off a bag of it. Look, right here, this puppy. You guys are going to be able to buy this on January 11th. I will tell you that every single person that has walked through my house and tasted it has died over it. And even my mom, Becky knows, is a huge coffee lover. Literally on Saturday morning came just to drink, not to see the kids, not to see me. She's like walked in the door and said, make me Shakeology. So that's how good it is. It's really, 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 really good. This is a great tool to build volume, not only for you to purchase it, but to rally your customers who are Shakeology advocates and lovers to purchase it, to put it into their inventory of Shakeology so that they have it. So right now, guys, this is the time to start building that momentum so that January starts off really, really, really strong. And then Becky talked about it, the Success Hub trip. We will be sharing when we will be going. You guys know that there's going to be 2 tracks. There's the teal and the coral. They're back to back, but at 2 different times. We're still discussing when some of the leaders from Diesel Nation will be attending that trip. But once we do know that, we will share. By no means do you have to go when we go. You go according to your schedule and what you can accommodate. The point is to go, not to not go because you can't go when so-and-so is going, but that you go. I posted yesterday about, the people, even Becky and I, our first summit, when we sat there and watched this thing happen on social media, that we wanted to crawl into a hole. Don't let that be you. Register. Even if you're sitting on this call and you're a brand new coach, put skin in the game right now. Earn yourself that trip, because you can. You very well can, in 12 months, be a Success Club All-Star and be heading to Punta Cana for free. You just have to pay your flight. The experiences, the bonding that you're going to have on these trips are absolutely jaw-dropping, mind-blowing. We have so much fun. So it's your opportunity, right, to say, am I going to put skin in the game or am I not? I say you do, and let's get like thousands of Diesel Nation coaches to Punta Cana. Could you imagine? Okay, I'm going to shut up now and turn it back to Becky so that she can introduce our guest speaker, and let's kick this thing off. Okay.
Well, can you mute? There's some noise going on there. Okay. Well, so I want to get this started. So, Eli, I'm going to introduce you now. This is, like I said, it's a great honor because right now we're just picking up speed in 2016. Things have been going really well for us, but now it's time to kick it up a notch. So Eli is going to help us improve some of our skills. And one of the things that I see over and over again, I'm talking from new coach all the way up to veterans, even myself last year, is pushing past fears and limiting beliefs that hold you back. And he's going to help us break those down, and also how to get more referrals. So without further ado, I'm just going to turn it over so that he can give us his accolades, and we'll just we'll go through the process with you. Eli, thank you so much for your time.
Awesome, Becky. How are you doing?
Great. How are you? Oh, and there's a chat going on there, so I'm sure people will ask questions throughout. But
okay, cool. I don't see the chat, but I guess right there. All right, cool. Yeah. I got that. I've got some questions for everybody, so I'll look at that to get answers. But again, my name is Eli. I'm a senior trainer for Tony Robbins. And if you're not real familiar with Tony Robbins, he was a guy in the movie Shallow Hal, Banana Hands. But also he's kind of considered like a coach, but not just to, like a regular life coach. He's a leader called upon by leaders. People like a Bill Gates, a Warren Buffett, a Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Dell, even Donald Trump. 3 of the past 5 American presidents have been coached and trained by Tony Robbins. And he was just named by American Express as one of the top 6 people in the world to actually help somebody's business in today's economy. And before I was introduced to this body of work, I felt like I had read every book out there, like Think and Grow Rich, Power of Positive Thinking. And I found that I learned all these principles, but I wasn't taking the action. I wasn't really implementing all the tools that I had. And sometimes in life, I find that we know what to do, but we don't do it. We know, it's as Becky said about limiting beliefs or fears, or we have bad habits. Things start to get in our way. And I found that just like you can go to the gym, and I know that you guys are all in Beachbody and you're all fit and healthy, you can see the changes in people, and you can see that as human beings, we can actually change. We can condition ourselves physically to get in better shape, but we can also condition ourselves mentally and emotionally to overcome the challenges in life that we're bound to have happen. The problems, the time management, all the different things pulling our mind and our attention in a million different directions. We condition ourselves to become stronger human beings so we can have a better experience of this thing called life. So that's what tonight's going to be all about. It's going to be like a personal training session for our mind and our emotions. Is that cool? All right, cool. So I'm just going to pretend that I can hear you guys. Usually I do these live workshops, and they're very interactive. So I am going to ask you guys some questions directly, and I'm going to want you guys to play full out with me, because here's the thing. If we just sit there like we did in, say, 7th grade algebra class, do you remember everything from 7th grade algebra? For most of us, it's no. Because we were sitting there, all the information went in one ear, and then it went out the other. That's because we listened passively. And when you listen passively, you're not really engaged. But when you do things like take down notes, maintain eye contact, actually shout back answers, actually say something, write something down, it engages your nervous system, and you're actually able to retain up to 90% of the things that you hear. So the key word today is going to be participation. What's the key word? Yes. I'm going to pretend that I can hear you. Thank you so much. Oh, yes, participation. So do I have your permission to ask you guys some questions and engage with you, even if it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable sometimes? Yes? Because here's the thing. If you think about it, if you go to a gym, or say you have a great personal trainer, and you got Becky there, as your coach in this business, a coach or a trainer, they get you to push past what's uncomfortable. Say they give you a really heavy weight and they say, oh my God, this is so heavy. Say you got to do it 10 times. You're like 10 and you get 10 and they say, oh, you got to keep on going more and more, because here's the thing. Which one of those 10 reps gives you all the growth? The 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 15th is when we're able to push ourselves beyond what's comfortable. That's when we go physically, but also mentally and emotionally. So tonight, I'm going to ask you to engage, to be prepared to ask yourself some questions about where you are, where you want to be, and discover where are the gaps. Because if we're healthy as human beings, it doesn't matter where you're at in your life. I'm here in Miami right now, but my home is actually in Beverly Hills. And I live by people that have more money than you know what to do with, but a lot of times they get to a point in their life where they're not happy. It's because they're not growing anymore. And so tonight, I want to bring that up because tonight's not about a competition with anybody but yourself. So I don't care about what the person next to you is doing, about what your team lead is doing. It's about you and realizing today you're at a certain level. And no matter where you're at, there's always going to be a next level. Doesn't matter if you're the most successful people in the world, they've all got to the next level. That's why the people like Oprah, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they seek people out like Tony to coach them because they want to feel more alive. They want to figure out what is the next level for ourselves and how do we condition ourselves mentally and emotionally to become more. So that's what tonight's going to be all about. Does this make sense? Yes? All right. So a few things that I always talk about in my talks, and I'm going to go through these really quick, are these 3 letters. Write this down. Write down the word SAM, the name SAM, S-A-M. And the S is going to stand for the word strategies. So to be effective in business, in your health, in anything that you want to accomplish in your life, we have to have a strategy. That is, we have to have a plan. And a lot of times people in business want to focus all their time on the plan or the perfect plan. And they get that analysis of paralysis, wondering if they're going to have it all figured out before they go out there and actually connect with people. I can tell you right now, you've already got enough. Most of the time, the biggest obstacle people have in their success is feeling like they don't know enough, because they feel like they're not enough. And if they get the next book or go to the next event, get this other magic piece of information, they're going to know that thing. But you have to start with the foundation that you already know enough, because you can't build on failure. You can't bring yourself down. You have to build on success. So there are strategies that are going to make you more effective. And if you've been in this business for a few months, you most likely know what the strategies are. Connecting with people, going to events, asking questions, having probing questions and asking about their health, getting people talking. So there's strategies that can help you. That's one part, and that's very easy. The second part are activities. How much of that stuff do we actually do on a day-to-day basis? And do we have a systematic way of measuring it? At the end of the day, if we measured our activities, it's all those principles, all those books, all those things that you're supposed to do about from your business to your health, the follow-up to getting referrals. It's all those things that we need to do. How much activity, how much of it do we actually do? That's the second A, that's the A, activities. And then the biggest part, the M, stands for mindset. Because 80% of our success in business and life comes down to our psychology. The ability to unlock and unleash, to have this unbelievable certainty and confidence in ourselves, where we really tap into that identity of who we are. That's who we are. We see ourselves as the absolute best. And Sigmund Freud had a really amazing quote. He said, the strongest need in the human psyche is for us to remain consistent with how we see ourselves. That's why the person who's overweight will never lose weight until they actually see themselves as a thin person. We need to be able to see ourselves as something more and tap into that vision to have a different identity for how we see ourselves. And this is exactly what Tony Robbins teaches. How do we condition that part of ourselves, the unconscious part of our minds, that actually gets us to overcome those fears and step into a whole new role in life so we can start to expand. So here's what I want you to do. Somewhere on your worksheet, and by the way, does everybody have a worksheet that looks kind of like this? Does it look kind of like that? A circle and some boxes on it? We got something like that? Which one do you guys have? All right, I got that one too. Just so we can be on the same page here, I will grab that one. Voila. So somewhere on that sheet, I just want you to write down a simple answer. On a scale of 1 to 10, just give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Where do you feel like you're tapping into your full potential as a human being? Again, not to compare it to somebody else that's been in the business for 20 years or 10 years or 5 years, but on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you feel like you're showing up into your full potential? And here's my little caveat. If you give yourself a 1, that's okay. What that says to me is that somewhere inside of yourself, you believe that you're not at your absolute best. Some part of you says, you know what, Eli, I could be doing a whole heck of a lot better in my income. I could be following up more. I could be making more money. I could be in better health. I could be a better leader. There's some part of yourself that realizes you could be doing a whole heck of a lot better. That's a low number. A level 10, if you're there, a level 10, what that means is it means that you think that you couldn't possibly get any better in any area of your life. You're maxed out in your potential. You couldn't get any better. So that's a 10. And in 2011, a lady came to our events named Oprah Winfrey. I'm sure you've heard of her, pretty successful. I asked, my girlfriend was sitting right next to her, and I said, Oprah, what would you give yourself? Because Tony asked a question that kind of related. I said, where would you say you're at on your potential? Anybody want to stab a guess what number she gave herself? 7, 5, 5, 3. And so that's why I say there's no right or wrong answer, but she believes with her name, because we all know she is, and her income, she's pretty successful. She believes that she has the potential to do so much more than she's doing. And so that excites her. That gets her up early, makes her get up late. And so I don't think that anybody here gave himself a 10, and that's a very good thing, because if you give yourself a 10, what you're saying to yourself is, you know what, this is as good as it gets. And I mentioned the people that live by me in Beverly Hills, the reason that they're not happy is because they felt like they were at a 10 and then they quit growing. They quit figuring out what's the next level. So for yourself, what would you say it is for yourself? Whatever that number is, go ahead and give me some of the ones that you would give for yourself. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you feel like you're tapping into your full potential? Just put that in the comments. 6, 5, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4. Got a bunch of numbers here. All right, can you guys see me still? Yes? All right, so I'm going to say, based on what I saw, I'm going to say on an average, I'm going to say we're floating around, I'm going to say like a 3 or 4. Becky, what would you say? 3 or 4? What would you say? 4. So this is great. This is great, great, great news. Actually, guys, why do you think it's great news to be at a 3 or 4? Why do you think it's great? Somebody said, because we have room to grow, because we can always do more. So we have the potential to do a lot more in this business. And so again, it's not a competition, but let me ask you guys honestly, do you really think there's a lot more potential to grow in this business? Are there people out there in America that are out of shape, that are overweight, that are lacking education in this thing called their health? It's the biggest epidemic in the world right now, especially in America. So we have the potential to not only change our own lives and make a lot of money here, but to really have an impact on the world. And so what that number of a 4 tells me this, it's a good thing, but it's saying that we're leaving 60% of our income, 60% of our emotional fulfillment, 60% of our purpose in life, the ability to have an impact on this world in a positive way, is out there waiting for us right now. There are people out there waiting for us every single day to actually help them have a better experience in life. So that is a great, great thing. And I say this, so often in life, guys, check this out. So often somebody comes on a webinar, they go to a seminar, they read a book, they interact with a coach, and people will get all pumped up emotionally, and then they go right back to the same old patterns and habits. True or false? So true, because we get conditioned by our environment. So I don't know what that's happening here tonight. So here's the rule. If we're going to actually get anything out of this time here together, we've got about 45 minutes, hour together here tonight. If you're actually going to get something out of this time here together, the main rule is this. You've got to be 100% honest with yourself. Not honest with me. You got to be honest with you. Are you want to do this? Yes? All right, yes. I'm going to pretend that I hear a lot of yeses there. So then here's my question. As long as we're all being honest with ourselves, if you give yourself a 5, a 6, a 7, again, there's no right or wrong answer. But whatever that number is, say a 4. We gave ourselves a 4 as a team. And I'm going to start tying us all together as a team, because you guys are all a team, correct? We're all a team. And here's what I mean by team. Let me just bring this up. If somebody on this team is just on fire, Whenever you talk to them, they're passionate, they're hungry, they're focused, they're getting people involved in the business, and they were so hungry. Does that energy affect everybody on the team, yes or no? Yes. But also somebody's down, somebody's negative, somebody's not showing up, somebody's not following through. That kind of affects the environment too. So I'm going to tie us all together tonight as a team. And what a 4 tells me is this, that we've got a lot of room to grow. So here's the answer. Here's my question. If right now, if you know that you're not at your personal best, and I can't tell you your best is, Tony Robbins can't, Becky can't, your mom can't, nobody in the world can tell you what you're truly capable of in your life but yourself. It's something inside of yourself. It's a feeling. It's something that you know. So if right now inside of yourself, if you know that you're not at your personal best, then why? What are 2 reasons that you can think of in your life today? We all started off by saying that we've all got a next level, and we're only going to feel most alive if we tap into that next level. So right now, what is the next level for you? Maybe it's something in your health or your income, your ability to influence or follow through. What is that next level for you, that vision for your life? And I want you to think of 2 reasons why you're not already there. And the first 2 things you can think of, please write them down. You have that worksheet, and on the worksheet it says, there's just a bunch of lines on the worksheet. So anywhere on your worksheet down here, write down 2 reasons. 2 reasons we're not already at the next level of what we call success. And these could be anything. And so if you could, share with me some of the reasons, and I'm going to write them down. What are some reasons? What are some things that stop us from becoming our absolute best? What are some things that stop us from getting to the next level of income, health, success, whatever success means to you? I'm not here to give you my definition of success, but I'm sure you have one for yourself. What are 2 things that you feel have stopped you from becoming more successful in your life? I heard fear, organization, time management, no discipline, time management, consistency, distractions, too much time on Facebook, confidence. Doesn't matter if you're the president of the United States, we could all use more confidence at times. Procrastination. Everybody do this. Raise your hand if you ever procrastinate. Some of you are like, I'll raise my hand tomorrow. I'll raise my hand next week. I'll get to it. I don't have time to procrastinate. I don't have time to raise my hand. What else stops us? Overwhelm, fear of success, change. So I'm going to go through some of these that we said. And one of the biggest one that I put at the top, if there's actually one thing that stops more than anything else from getting what they want, it's fear. And I know a lot of you guys put that. Is there a lot of fear that stops people? Yes or no? Yeah, and there's fear of success. When you do become more successful, you get more responsibility, you get more attention on you, some people talk about you, and some people realize that unconsciously, so they don't really want to put themselves out there, so they're never really fully stepping up because they feel like, oh, what are people going to think of me? They have this fear of success. Or they start making more money, I'm going to pay more taxes, people are going to take advantage of me. You get into these weird conversations. Or they have fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of what people think. There's so many different fears. Another one we said was organization. And we could probably all organize our time a little bit more effectively. And no discipline, time management, lack of consistency. Somebody said, no money. So maybe resources to invest in ourselves or our business, our marketing. And there could be ego. I love that. Losing sight of our goals, not clearly defined goals. Is there anything else that you guys may put on this list? I got a bunch of things here. My handwriting is poor, so apologize for that. Perfectionism. There's a million different things that could stop us. Could be priorities, responsibilities. But here's the thing. How many guys, no matter where you're at in your life today, again, it's not a competition. There can be a million different things that stop us. But in order for you to take your business or your life or your family to that next level of what you call success, how many guys agree that you need to have a planned strategy? That is, you got to know what you want and why you want it. Yes? We talked about that. We got to have a real system, a real plan. We got to commit to take massive action on that plan every single day, but through the fear, the negativity, through all the challenges that we're all going to face in our life, we need to have this unshakable unstoppable mindset and psychology. True or false? Yes. And so often in life, we figure out there's all these reasons that can stop us. And again, there could be a million different things that can stop us, but it's really having the psychology and the mindset. 80% of our success in business or life comes down to our ability to have an unstoppable mindset. And so once I had learned all these principles out there and I found that I wasn't really taking action, I was introduced to Tony's work, where it wasn't just about the principles. Yes, you can learn that. And we can read that in 1,000 different books. We can take more action, but oftentimes we have these incongruencies inside of us. It's this mindset. And so I became obsessed with that question, why do we do what we do? And the question Tony always asks at our events is, what determines our success? Why is it that I'll talk to somebody in a business like yours, I'll find somebody that's been there for a year or 2 years, even 5 years, and they find a way to be massively successful, top of their game. Do you know people like that? Doesn't matter what the market's doing, no matter what the economy's doing, no matter how many kids they have, no matter how much responsibility they have, they always find a way to get in shape and take some action. They just figure it out. Some other people could be in the same business, same market, same economy, same opportunity here in Beachbody, same people, same environment, the same opportunity every day, and this person's barely getting by, can't afford to feed their family, or they're always struggling. Do we know people like that? Some people have these kinds of relationships with so much passion, so much hunger, so much energy, this real connection where somebody else might never have that. Some people get to the gym 5, 6, 7 times a week. Somebody else is like, I can never find the time to take care of myself. My point is this. Why is it that some people, no matter what they've been through in their life, there's always something inside why they can do it, but some people have patterns or habits of mind and emotion of why they can't do it? All the things that we wrote down here tonight, all these things are true. They're part of life. We all deal with it. They all stop us. But there is one key element. There's one key distinction that underlines all these tonight. It all comes down to this. What really stops us in life all comes down to this. Everybody write this down. It's a very scientific term. Write this down. It comes down to our BS, which stands for, what does BS stand for? Come on, give it to me. Okay, I like where your head's at. Our belief system. Also bullshit. I like where your head's at. Now that you cussed first, now I have more permission to cuss. Thank you so much. That BS too, but also for tonight's purposes, our BS is going to be our belief system. Okay. So, when you hear about, people talk about this all the time. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to believe in our product.
This one and this one does it.
What's that? Oh, I thought somebody asked me a question. Sorry. So we hear a lot about belief systems. So let's define first, what is a belief? Does anybody want to give me their definition of a belief, though? Does anybody have a belief? What is a belief? We use this word a lot. Believe in ourselves, believe in our product, believe in our services. What does the word believe? Values? Yep, that's true. Consistency, convictions, our mission, our values. When somebody says, I believe something, what are they saying? And here's something really, really cool. This is very interesting. So here we are. There's a bunch of us here on this call tonight, and we're all in the same place at the same time, talking about the same product or service, this Beachbody, or to make our lives better. And we all want the same things, but we all have different beliefs. You all have different beliefs about talking to people. You have beliefs about this company. You have beliefs about the past. You have beliefs about the future. You have beliefs about yourself. But everything you believe about people or life or money or business or talking to people, these beliefs have been picked up and formed and conditioned inside of you based on your past experiences of life. That's why I think the information is great. All the strategies are great. All the success books are great. But information by itself will never change your life. Experiences do. Often in life, we have an experience and we make it mean something about ourselves or people in life and say, oh, people are that way. I deserve this. Life is this way. Money's this way. Business is this way. Network marketing is this way. And you'll find in life, even people you talk to about this business, they might have a certain belief system about this business or about you because they had an experience at one point in their life that was somewhat negative, or they took it the wrong way. And so now they have a belief. They feel something that is not even true. And let me ask you this for yourself before we really get into what a belief is. Have you ever believed something? Like you had a conviction. You believed something, but you found out later it wasn't even true. Like maybe you thought somebody said something, or you thought something was some certain way, and you were all mad and angry, and that was like, man, how could they do this? And then found out later it wasn't even true. You're like, oh my God, how could I even think that? So you had this conviction, but it wasn't even true. Do you realize right now in your life, right now today, right here, 2016, beginning of the year, all this time in life, you might also have some beliefs that are also not true about yourself or people or life. But you had an experience and you said, you know what? That's how it is. That's how life is. So I want you to get this. These beliefs that you have inside of yourself, they don't come from information in books. They come from experiences. And we've all had experiences in life that shape the way we see people or life or even ourselves, the actions that we take or don't take. And these beliefs that we have inside of us here tonight, these beliefs are what ultimately create the results that create our reality in life. Because every result that we have in our lives today, how much money you have in the bank, that's a result. The health of your body, the actions that you take. These are all some kind of results happening in your life today. All of our actions come from all of our results come from our actions or our lack of actions. Actions come from decisions. Your decisions come from your thoughts. And all the thoughts that you have about yourself or people or life, those thoughts come from your beliefs. All human behavior, therefore all results in life, are belief driven. Does this make sense? Yes? You guys with me? Yes? Awesome. So when I talk about a belief, my friends, here's the definition. Please write this down somewhere. A belief is a feeling. That's the core of it. A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty you have about something. It's a feeling of absolute certainty you have about something. Say it a couple more times. A belief is a feeling. When you say I believe something, you're saying I feel certain that's how it is. And this could be true or not true. But if you believe it, it's true for you. Henry Ford said, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are correct. So a belief by itself is just a feeling of absolute certainty. And when I talk about these beliefs that we have inside of us, we've all got different types of beliefs inside of us about people or life. But when it comes down to it, we basically have two. How many? Or as they say in Miami, dos. Dos. That's what they say here in Miami. And the first one is this. Please write this down. The first one is called an empowering belief. Empowering belief. E-empowering. My first note, empowering. And an empowering belief is not a trick question. What does it do? It empowers us. They motivate us, they drive us. They get us to take massive action towards everything we want to do or have or be or become or create, give to our family, to share and be and become in this limited amount of time that we have on this planet. These are the beliefs that get you up early, make you stay up late, they make you passionate and hungry, get you to drive your life forward to actually create something. But the second kind of belief is this. Please write this down. It's called a limiting belief. Limiting. A limiting belief. And what does a limiting belief do? They limit us. They stop us from taking massive actions towards everything we want to do or have or be or become or create in the time that we have on this planet. These are the things that we say about the market or the economy or what's going on in our life. Oh, I'm so stressed out. We live in this world. We get these beliefs about ourselves, things that limit us, limit our potential, or limit our ability to have impact in the world. And we've all got these things. And so when I talk about these beliefs that we have inside of us, we've got these two beliefs and we need to understand them. That information doesn't come, or information is not going to help us change. It's got to be experiences. And we've all got experiences in our life that have created belief systems that have shaped our reality. Does this make sense? If you guys get anything to say tonight, I want you to get this about beliefs. That you will never, ever, ever in your life out-earn, you can never outperform, outsell, out-achieve your belief system. You can't make $1 million a year in this business. You can only make 10,000. You can never be in a passionate relationship if you believe there's nobody out there for you. You can never be fit and strong and healthy if you believe you don't have time to work out or take care of yourself. And here's a quick little example. I talked to a lot of real estate companies, and I talked to one the other day, and I asked everybody there, I said, who here knows somebody that lost money here in Southern Florida in 2008? And just about everybody did. And so most of us would agree that investing in real estate is a good thing, but somebody might have an experience, a painful experience called losing money. And now they have a belief from that experience that says, you know what, investing is bad. investing in a network marketing business is bad. They have an experience once and it shapes their perception. They have a negative belief, so they take no action, no result. Or maybe you know somebody that would say, let's imagine somebody got into a relationship and they were in love and they got their heart broken. And we've all had something like that happen to us before. And based on that painful experience, this person can have a belief. Remember, a belief is a feeling. It's not even something logical. It's a feeling of certainty about something in your life. So now this person, after a negative experience, can say, you know what? They can have a belief where they believe that relationships are bad or dangerous, or somebody said no, and offered them this business, and now they have a belief that says, you know what? Talking to people is scary or dangerous because it happened one time. And so now this person might not take action, won't feel empowered to actually do the things. And we don't think about this logically, but this person could go through life less emotionally available, less open to talk to people, less open to get into a relationship, and we all feel that. Does that make sense? So my point is this. We can never out-earn, outsell, outperform, out-achieve in any aspect of our life our belief system. And here's the thing. Let me ask you this. Let's bring it back to business. Are there a lot of belief systems about your business? Yes or no? Yeah, people say, oh, that MLM thing. By the way, I've worked out a bunch of times with Tony Horton. I live not too far from him. He lives on Centinela. If you're familiar with Santa Monica, he's not too far from me. And a guy named Darren O'Lean. We're part of the same charity. We spend every July 4th together. So I'm really familiar with people in your business. I think it's amazing. I know a lot of people in your business made a lot of money. I think it's great. But there are a lot of people out there that think negatively about network marketing. Yeah, there's a lot of belief systems. They've got their belief systems out there, and you can't be influenced by that. Because here's the thing that you have to know for yourself. I don't care so much about the economy. I care about your economy. And 5 years ago in this business, economy wasn't that great, but were people making money? Yes. But then again, some people were not making money. And today, are some people going to make money? Yes. Are some people not? So here's the thing that you got to know. There is no such thing as a bad market. There is no such thing as a bad economy. There is no such thing as a bad opportunity. Because here's the thing, there's no such thing as a bad anything out there. The only thing that can stop you in your life is a bad mindset or a bad set of emotions. Because we all know people living on this planet who have overcome the worst situations that we could even imagine. They've had tragedies happen in their life, but they didn't let that stop them. There's no such thing as a bad anything outside of you that can stop you. The only thing that will stop you from having everything you want in your life is a bad mindset or a bad set of beliefs. Conditioned emotional responses or feelings that have got conditioned inside of yourself. Does this make sense? Yes? So that's why I'm going to share with you a very powerful exercise. I'm going to share with you how you can make more money, have more success in every single area of your life. Would you like to see this? Yes. More success in every area of your life. Would you like to see this? Yes. So here's what we're going to do. We've all got this worksheet with these 4 boxes like so. In the bottom left-hand box, there's an R, and that R is going to stand for the word results. The word is results. So let me ask you guys, is goal setting important? Yes. We got to know what we want and why we want it. We said that earlier. We got to know what we want and why we want it. So has anybody read this book? I always bring this up. One of the best books I've ever read out there on success is a book called Think and Grow Rich. You probably heard of that book, right? Napoleon Hill. And so in this book, I highly recommend it. Got to check this thing out. In 1908, Napoleon Hill, he was 19 years old. He got to interview Andrew Carnegie, who was America's first billionaire. $1 billion back then. I don't know what the math is, what it would be today, but it'd be a lot of money. And so he asked him to create the science of success. And it ended up being these 17 principles of success that would help anybody create what they want using their mind. And he interviewed people like Henry Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison, Charles Schwab, Presidents of the United States, FDR, and he came up with these principles, and the number one principle was called definiteness of purpose. Most people live their life at the effect of the economy, the effect of their past decisions, the effect of their parents, the effect of their kids, the effect of their environment, but successful people, they have a purpose and a plan, they have an outcome. They know what they want and why they want it. They have good results or goals, things they want in your life. So tonight, we're going to write down 2 goals. One is somewhere around that box. Somewhere around there, in the box or around it, you're going to write down one is going to be a professional goal, something you want to achieve in your Beachbody business. And then the second thing is going to be a personal goal, something not related to your business at all. So first is going to be a business goal, meaning how much money do you want to make? How many people do you want to get involved? And the second goal is going to be something personal. It could be a fitness goal, Could be a relationship goal, could be a health goal, a travel goal, something you want to do in your life. So if some of you guys could share with me just your business goal. What's something in the next 12 months, in 2016, what's something you would like to achieve? So pay off debt. So for whoever wrote pay down debt, if you're thinking about paying down debt, think about how much money would it take to pay down the debt where the debt wouldn't be an issue. So you want to think about what you want to create, not what you want to repair. It's more inspiring. So we're going to talk more about this because we said that a belief system revolves around a feeling of absolute certainty. So the emotions and the feelings behind your goal are going to provide the fuel. You got to think about what you want and why you want it. So paying off debt, it's not too sexy. But if you want to think about building something, a certain amount of income, it might be a little more juicy. Because if somebody wants to get rid of debt, they want to feel safe, secure, all that stuff. Again, that's cool, but that's not what's really going to energize you at the highest level. $1,000 a week, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a week, $1,000 a week, extra $1,000 a month. So all these goals, and Becky, you can tell me if this is true or not. All the goals that people are writing down, are these things possible? Are there people that have made $18,000 a week? Are there people that have made $2,000 a month? So they're possible, yes? So we know that, so we can feel certain, so we can believe that is important, that it's very important. We got to believe that it is possible. And if somebody else has done it, there's not a darn reason why we can as well. So whatever result that you wrote down, I'm going to say what a lot of people say to me is they want to make $100,000 in their business. So I'm just going to put that down. You put down whatever goal you have, but as long as we have a clear goal, go ahead with that. So whatever result you want to have in your business and personal life, I'm just saying to you, yes, you can do it. If somebody else is doing it, you can too. But here's the thing. In order for you to make more money, have more success, your definition of success, in order to have a better quality of life, in order for you to do that, there are specific, measurable actions. There are things that we must be doing on a day-to-day basis. We're not just going to watch The Secret and sing Kumbaya and meditate. I do all that stuff, but that's not the only thing that you have to do. You're actually going to have to take some actions. So A in that box, right there where it says A, is going to stand for actions. Because it's, guys, there's going to be our actions or our lack of actions that determine our success. There are things that we got to do. And I do a lot of talks and I meet a lot of people. I've done close to 3,000 talks for Tony now. And I meet a lot of people. And I want to bring up this quote. There's a success quote that's been around forever. And it says that 80% of success is just showing up. And I tell you this, I don't think it's true. Because I've talked to literally hundreds of thousands of people. And I see people that show up, especially in a business like yours. They go to meetings, they hop on conference calls, they get on webinars, they show up, but they're still not successful. I know people that have worked in a business for a company for 50 years, and they're still not successful. Not my definition of success, but their definition of success. They don't feel like they're successful. So of course we got to show up, but it's not just enough to show up. It's how we show up. We got to show up with our A game, our absolute best. And only you know what your best is, but your best can get better every single day. You show up every single day, getting better and better and better, and you really tap into that thing. Because here's the thing. When you sit down, listen to me now, when you sit down and you talk to somebody about this opportunity with Beachbody, realize this: if they're willing to listen to you, there's two aspects of their life that most likely aren't perfect. One, their finances. The other is their health. Who in the world has uncertainty or fear about their health? Because this whole country, the health is declining. And who has uncertainty about their finances? Almost everybody. Even if you're a billionaire, you've got some uncertainty about your finances, about working or passive income, or really understanding how being your own business owner. So if somebody is taking the time to connect with you, sit down at their kitchen table, or meet with you at a Starbucks, what they're really saying is this, and you have to believe this. What they're saying is they have uncertainty. There's some area of their life that they don't have certainty in. And another word for uncertainty is also fear. They're uncertain. They don't have all the answers. And guess what? Nobody does. But when they're connecting with you, they're saying they have uncertainty, and they're asking you as a professional, as a leader, as somebody they look up to give them certainty, to give them that certainty. And your certainty, your confidence in yourself, your products, your ability to change people's lives, your certainty must become so strong, your certainty overcomes their doubt. That's how you get people to buy into what you're saying. That's how you become a leader for your friends, for your family, for your kids. That's how people align with you emotionally. And realize this, all selling is, all getting people into this business, all selling is, it's a transference of emotion. You know, people have a certain state of emotion attached to you and your product, and it's got to be inside of you. I can't give you $1 unless I have $1. I can't give you confidence unless I have confidence. I can't give you certainty unless I'm absolutely certain. So when I talk about taking action, we got to condition that inside of ourselves. And I talk a lot about this word congruency. When it comes down to action, I see a lot of people in this business, and they say to me stuff like, Eli, I'm going to make $100,000. And by the way, real quick, does anybody know, are you guys familiar with the word congruency? Real quick, it means alignment. When you think of somebody really congruent, and this could be your grandfather, could be Tony Robbins, could be the president, maybe not this president, you know, so some president, somebody you respect, you know, they have this alignment. They speak from this place of absolute certainty inside themselves. And I meet a lot of people in life, and they'll say to me something like, Eli, I want to make $100,000. Their words are here. Their actions are over here. Their thoughts are scattered, and emotionally, they're all over the place. But when you meet somebody who's congruent, their words, their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, their purpose in life are all in alignment. They mean what they say what they mean. There's a strength behind their words, and that's very influential. It's very powerful with people. They feel that. There's a transference of emotion there, and there's something inside of you that transfers inside of them where they feel certain about you and what you're saying, and they buy into that emotion. Does that make sense? So in order for us to take action, what I'm saying when I say take action, every day when you walk out there, when you interact with people, you are a product of the product. It's your passion, your energy, your excitement. They're going to be looking at you and saying, what is this all about? It's that certainty about what you're communicating. That's what people are going to buy into. But in order for you to do that consistently, you must tap into a certain level of your potential. So P in this top box right here is going to stand for potential. P stands for potential. So there's the P for potential. So guys, what is the potential of a human being? It's unlimited. It's unlimited. Every single day of our life, we can get better at something in our life. Every single day. That's why I say it's not a competition. It's about your ability to grow. And if you already feel like you're the best, you're not there, because you're going to realize there's always a next level. And that's why these people who are the most successful in the world, people that are millionaires and billionaires, they have all the money in the world, but these people work harder than anybody because they got addicted to that feeling of growing and achieving. So your potential is going to be amazing. I did a talk in I was in Riverside, California. That's where I was, just outside of San Bernardino. And I met this man who was training for the Olympics to be a runner. And that's pretty impressive. This guy was training like 8 hours a day. But what's even more impressive is he's missing legs. It's crazy. I mean, this guy is out there training every single day, running, doing sprints, and he doesn't even have legs. I meet other people who have perfect use of their legs, and the doctor tells them, hey, if you don't walk 2 miles in the morning, you're going to have a heart attack. But they still can't get themselves to do it. You see, our potential to make money, to be successful in this business, to talk to more people, it's unlimited what we can do, but it's not about what we can do, it's what we will do. And oftentimes we have patterns or belief systems where we have some of this stuff that gets in our way. It's not can we do it, it's will we do it, because in order for us to tap into our full, God-given, amazing potential, to show up and take the actions that we know are necessary to achieve all those results, all those goals that you wrote down, yes, you can do it. But first, it's what kind of belief, it's what kind of feeling of absolute certainty must you have about people, must you have about your product, must you have about life, must you have about the business, but most importantly, what kind of belief system must you have about yourself? So B is going to stand for belief. So on that worksheet, you have a B, put down belief. Belief stand right there. So let's imagine a hypothetical story. Let's imagine that I know somebody working for a company called Beachbody, and they are living in the United States, and they hop on webinars on Zoom on Monday nights with me. Do we know anybody like this? Yes, that's you, in case you're wondering. That's you. So let's imagine we know somebody out there who's got some great goals. They're in a great business, got a great opportunity to really change lives, to become financially successful. And they got this great vision for their life. They're like, this is going to be the best year ever. But here's a challenge. Because a lot of these people have been in other businesses, had other opportunities. They've had other days, other years where they could have done it, but they know they didn't do it. And here's the challenge. They got this great goal, great opportunity, but every single day, and it's not just today, it's not just yesterday, it's been a pattern. It's been a habit in their life, not just a habit of their actions, but of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. They say they want to do more. They know they want to do more. They know that it's possible because they see other people doing it. But every single day before they go out there, when it comes time to actually talk to people, to pick up the phone, to take the action, to get up early, to work out, to do the stuff, they say, you know what? I don't have the time. I'll do it later. They procrastinate. They have fear. They have self-doubt. They get negative. They let other people stop them. They don't have the confidence. They get distracted. They're not consistent. Do you know anybody like this? Anybody like this? Yes. not here tonight on this call, but other people. We know other people like that. Not necessarily us. Let's just say we know other people that are doing some of those things. So if we know people that are running some of these patterns, and another word for patterns are habits, but not just the habits of what we do, it's the unconscious habits, the habits of thought, feeling, and emotion inside of us. So if this person on that day wakes up and they have these patterns inside themselves, before they even walk out the door, are they going to tap into more or less of their potential? What do you think? Less. If they tap into less of their potential, they're going to take less action. And some days they might take more action, but it's less effective action. They're all stressed out and they're just all running all over the place. And so if we're taking less effective actions towards ourselves, we end up tap into less potential, take less action, and then we get worse results. And then we get these crappy results, and we look at around the reality, we look at our bank account, we look at life, and we see that it's not exactly the way that we know that it could be, because we know that it's possible. What kind of belief system, what kind of mindset, what kind of psychology might this person start to form about their ability to break through? Will they start to form empowering beliefs or limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs, because they look at their reality, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Say, you know what, I know I want to do it, but I don't have the time. That belief system is what drives those results. So, you know what, I want to do it, but I can't find a way. I don't have the time, I don't have the money. And so they get less potential, less action, less results, and it literally becomes a downward spiral. Guys, this right here, if you do this, I always do it like this. This is how we form patterns and habits inside of ourselves unconsciously. We reinforce those beliefs. All the things that we wrote down earlier, we reinforce those patterns of inconsistency, of laziness, of fear, of self-doubt. We start believing in our doubts, and we start doubting our beliefs. This is how we form patterns and habits inside of us. This is why the rich get richer, the poor get poor, or the mediocre stay stuck. They stay mediocre. It's a conditioned, habitual way of thinking, feeling, acting, and reacting to this experience called life. Does this make sense? And so if a human being with this unlimited potential inside themselves to do anything they want is not really tapping into every aspect of themselves, and they're not consistently breaking through, if they're not consistently growing, there's only one of two reasons that will stop somebody from living life on their terms. Number one, they just don't know what to do. They need to learn the principles. And if that's the case, I have a very simple solution for you. If you don't know what to do in this business, there's this really amazing thing called the internet. It used to be 1,000 years ago, if you wanted to be successful, you had to get a mentor, you had to read some books, you were an apprentice for like 20 years, but now we're in the information age. With literally on Google, you can type something up, there's a book by Eric Worre that I just got. I don't know if you've read that. It's called Go Pro, and I have a lot of friends in this business. I mean, the principles, the information, the how-to is there. But what stops people in life 99.999% of the time, it's not a lack of information, because even 10,000 years ago, before the internet, before the printing press, to get exactly what they want out of life, even before there was all these resources. So it's never lack of the information. It's never lack of time. The most successful person, least successful person, same amount of time. It's a great equalizer. It's never lack of money. 94% of millionaires in America today are first generation. That means they came from nothing. Especially with resources like the internet and all the things that we have to become successful today, more and more people are becoming successful every single day. And oftentimes when I think about money, A lot of times that holds a lot of people back. And we've all had opportunities in a business like yours with unlimited income. And we look back on the last year and we say, you know what? If I had really committed, we say, I don't have the money, but we know there's opportunities in life. We said, you know what? If I had just committed more, if I had worked harder, if I had been more resourceful inside myself, I could have found a way. So we can't use that excuse anymore. We can't have the excuse of there's no money out there. It's like $6 trillion that circulates throughout the United States every single day. So it is never a lack of resources. It's a lack of our resourcefulness. And the reason we become as unresourceful at getting the things that we want in life is because we got these emotional blocks and internal conflicts we wrote down inside of ourselves, these incongruencies. We take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. It's these patterns, thoughts, feelings, and emotions that get conditioned inside of ourselves. Those beliefs and patterns are what create our results. Does it make sense? Yes? So we've all got these patterns inside of ourselves. But here's what I just want to make clear. We've all got these patterns, and we say that success is 20% mechanics, it's 80% psychology. And I say this often, and I want to go back to this again. Your psychology, a lot of times we often know enough, but we have patterns that affect the way we feel, that tap into the way we feel. We don't access the right emotions where we start to limit ourselves. And we can't build on failure. We can only build on success. So I think one of the things that we have to do every single day, and something I do, it's kind of cheesy, but I have like my gratitude journal. I write down things every single day that I'm grateful for, because what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. And if you're in this business, if you're living here in America, we have a lot of opportunity. You have the most amazing machine that's ever been created. It's your body, but you got to take care of yourself. And in this business, you can help other people take care of their body too. We got to take care of this. It's hard to be successful in life if you're tired, worn out. It's hard to be passionate in a relationship if you're exhausted. It's hard to really connect with your kids at the end of a long workday if you're not taking care of your health. You just feel drained. Your health is so important. You got to take care of it. And the second thing, you have the most amazing, powerful computer system in the world. This thing called a brain. But every computer system in the world, and I want you to listen to this, every computer in the world, whether it's the one you're looking at, the computer in your phone, or the computer right here, realize that every computer on the planet runs a program. So the question for you tonight is this: what kind of program have you been running in this powerful computer? Is it a fear program, a laziness program, a procrastination program, a self-doubt program, I don't have the time program, I don't have the money program? Because whatever that program is creating your reality. The beliefs you have about money equal your bank account. The beliefs you have about health equal your body. The beliefs you have about this business, what you feel certain about, that's what's driving your actions, creating the success you have. The beliefs that we've got conditioned with from every aspect of our life are what's creating every aspect of our life. Unless we change some of those old patterns and conditioning, we continue to get the same stuff. Does this make sense? So we got to change some of these unconscious patterns. And that's exactly what Tony does. But here's the thing. We realize that we need to change it. And sometimes we read books and we try to change it based on this logical information stuff. But beliefs come down to feelings of absolute certainty, things that come from experiences that have affected us emotionally. Stanford University did a study about 20 years ago, and they proved that 50% of our patterns and habits, how we show up in our life, that affect how much money we make, the quality of our relationships, the quality of our health, 50% of our patterns were conditioned inside of us based on what we saw in our environment by the age of 5 years old. Isn't that amazing? 95% of our patterns that affect the quality of our relationships, whether we get in them, our income, our health, 95% of our patterns were conditioned, put there by the age of 18, based on, again, what we saw in our environment. And I'm not saying that you personally have this whole crazy long list of things that are stopping you, but can we all agree that in this journey called life so far, that we might have picked up 1 or 2 patterns that have limited us in some way? Yes? You think about those patterns tonight. We probably got ones that have affected our income year after year after year, affected our health, affected our family, affected our quality of life, our emotions, our happiness. And nothing changes in life until we change. That's why I brought up that quote by Sigmund Freud. He said, our identity, the biggest need in the human psyche, is to remain consistent with how we see ourselves. That's why oftentimes people get an opportunity like the one you have in Beachbody, and they can change their health, their finances, but because they see themselves in a certain way, they just keep on playing that reality over and over again. They get conditioned. The biggest need in the human psyche is for us to remain consistent with how we see ourselves, even if how we see ourselves isn't necessarily empowering. We see ourselves as procrastinators, as negative, as lazy. We see ourselves as poor. And it's hard for us to change because unconsciously we get into these patterns. And nothing changes until we change. And to change is not easy. It's like going to the gym and you got that heavy weight. This is like the 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th rep. And the change, it will happen, but we got to commit to do things. And all change feels uncomfortable. So we got to be okay with feeling uncomfortable. So right now, I want you to think about this. The only way that we get ourselves to change is first to tell ourselves the truth. What is going to happen in 2016 if we don't commit at 100% to change those patterns? We're going to get the same stuff. Doesn't matter how pumped up and motivated, how many books that we read, nothing changes till we change. And information by itself isn't going to change our life. Experiences do. We need to start conditioning ourselves, going out there, having experiences that literally shape and change our belief system so that we can do and have and become more. So here's my question for you. I want you to look down at those patterns that you wrote down tonight. Fear, uncertainty, laziness, procrastination, lack of commitment, lack of confidence. These are all just patterns. They're not you. They're just patterns. And I always remind people, say if you're talking to a child, you would never say to the child like, Johnny, you're bad. You would say, Johnny, you're amazing. But this behavior is not like you. So you want to separate yourself. Some of these patterns that you wrote down today, they're not you. They're just bad habits. If somebody eats chocolate every day and ho-hos whenever they get depressed, that's not who they are. It's the pattern they go into. And realize this, tonight when you came home, you went into a pattern. When you talk to your mom on the phone, you go into a pattern. When you go out there and prospect, you go into a pattern. So we're talking about unconscious patterns, thoughts, feelings, and emotions, even how you breathe. Some of us get on the computer. Some of us start thinking about certain things. Based on your environment, you have lots of different patterns. And I'm going to talk to you in a minute about how we can change. But first, I want to ask you this. Realizing that you have all these patterns inside of yourself, they're not who you are, they're just patterns that you fell into that might have stopped you from getting the life that you want. Imagine if you really changed. Imagine if you destroyed those patterns, anything that had stopped you. What would be possible for you in your life? What would 2016 be like? So I want you to ask you this, what would you achieve more of in 2016 opposed to what you achieved in 2015? So let me ask you this again in a different way. How much, say for this business, for a business goal, how much more money total do you think you would make in 2016 over what you made in 2015? How much of a raise could you give yourself if you destroyed the patterns of fear, uncertainty, self-doubt, laziness, procrastination, depression? If you got rid of those patterns because they're not you, they're patterns that you go into at times. If you really change those patterns, what would be possible for you in your life? So one, write down how much more money you would make. And then secondly, I want you to look at that wheel of life. So you're going to write down a big financial goal, write that down somewhere in there. How much money would you like to make? And then also I want you to look at that wheel of life on there. And I'll tell you a quick story. I was introduced to Tony Robbins information back in 2005. And at the time I was an actor living in Los Angeles, and I got cast to be one of the biggest movies of the year, and this was totally going to make my thing, but I keep on going back to this sense of identity. I didn't see myself as worthy, and so as I got these opportunities, I started to fall back into some of my patterns. And at the age of 24 years old, I managed to get my 6th DUI. It's like drinking and driving. My dad's in a wheelchair from drinking and driving. I'm from a long line of partiers. I've been pretty wild my entire life. Still am a little bit, but just in a different way. It's playful and outrageous, but different in a healthy way. And I started to realize I had these patterns, and I wanted to change, and I had to go to all these Alcoholics Anonymous events. And I met a man that became a mentor of mine. We connected a lot. A guy named Anthony Hopkins. He's a famous actor. You might know who he is. Now he's Sir Anthony Hopkins. But he was speaking that night, and he said he wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for Tony Robbins. He went to Date with Destiny, and he's been to a bunch of our events. And he said it really changed for him unconsciously how he saw himself. And at that point, I'd seen Tony on Shallow Hal and on TV, and I felt like, does this really change people? And so I asked Mr. Hopkins, I said, does this work for you? And I asked him all these questions about it, and I didn't even believe it. And I asked him this, I said, if this works for so many people, if this works, is so great, why doesn't everybody do it? And he said, well, it's not for everybody, but it's people like, Princess Diana, Mother Teresa had been to the event, Nelson Mandela, American presidents, like all these people, Richard Branson. And he said, it's not for everybody, but it's for only people that are committed to get the best out of life, to get these tools, and you really can change. And I remember I sat there for a minute, and he just goes, Eli, you need to go. And he took something out. If you're familiar with AA or any of these events, they have something similar to this where they have you look at all the areas of your life. And there was a lot of spiritual stuff on there, but it was similar to this. And he asked me this. He said, Eli, what in your life do you really need to change? And I looked at it for a while. And I was like, man, I need to change everything. Everything sucks. He said, don't do that to yourself. It's hard to change every single area of your life at the same time. So he asked me this. He says, what are the 1 or 2 areas in your life where if you could honestly say, like, I'm going to commit to change these 1 or 2 things, by changing those, it would change everything else. So I look at it for a while and I go, well, obviously it's money. So if I had more money, everything in my life would be great. And he said, Eli, for you, it's not your money. He said, it's your emotions. It's these patterns you go into. He said, if you were nicer, if you were more confident, if you believed in yourself and other people more, I guarantee you would make more money. I guarantee your relationship with your mom would get better. You take better care of your health. So what is it for you? You know, I want you to look at that wheel of life and don't circle everything, but focus on what are 1 or 2 areas that you could circle tonight on that wheel where you could honestly say to yourself in 2016, if I made some changes to change some patterns in these areas, that area would affect everything else. And for some of you, it might be money. It might be the money. You make more money, relationship stress goes away. You know, take better care of your health. Maybe for some of you, it is your health. Maybe, you know, having better health, taking better care of yourself, you know, would affect you in this business. But people see you as a product of the product. You work out, you're more consistent there. Maybe some of you, it's even spiritual connection. Like finding what is my purpose in life? Like what is it? And whatever the area of life that you want to change, realize that you've got patterns that limit you or patterns that can condition you to become more. So if you committed in 2016 to change some of the patterns that limit you in the most important areas of your life, what would those areas be? So circle 1 or 2 areas, and that's going to be step 1. And then step 2, write down how much more money would you make in 2016? How much dollar amount would you make if you change those patterns? So please do those 2 things now. And write down for me in the box how much more money you would make, and also what are the 2 areas for you? Health, finances, career. $50,000 in emotional state, finances. Awesome. And write down in the box, just so I see some numbers, how much more money would you make? How much of a raise could you give yourself? Because think about it, in 2016, there's going to be changes in the government. There's going to be changes in the economy. We're going to hear about all this negative stuff. But imagine if nothing changed out there. There's the same market, same economy, same business, everything in your life stayed the same out there. But you made changes inside of yourself. It was all the same out there, but you made changes inside of yourself. Nothing in the world changes till we change. So if you really change the pattern that limits you inside of yourself, how much of a dollar amount raise could you put in your pocket? 50,000, 50 to 100,000, 6 figures, $400,000. And Becky, let me ask you, you know this team better than I do. Let me ask you, on average, how much more money do you think each person on this team could put in their pocket if they changed these limited patterns that had stopped them? If everybody on this team changed the psychology. And I can tell by talking to you as a leader, you're great because you're pushing psychology. You want to get people to these events. You're passionate. You're successful. You're hungry. You're modeling the way. But every single person on this team, there's always the next level. Would you agree? Awesome. So if everybody committed to take it to the next level, on average, how much more money do you think each person here could put in their pocket in the next year? $100,000. You guys all believe that you can make $100,000 extra dollars if you change the biggest part of your business, your psychology and your belief systems? Yes, 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 agreed. Yes, all minds said yes, 100%. And not only would that affect our business, it would affect every single area of our life. Does this make sense? So how many of you guys are committed? Not just thinking about it like someday, I hope it just kind of changes on its own. No. How many of you guys are really, truly committed to change the most important areas of your life? If you're committed, say, I'm committed. I'm committed. Yes. All in. I love that. So that's why I want to take a moment, and I want to share with you just for a few minutes, you know, and then we'll do something to tie everything up here in a little bit. But I want to take a few minutes to share with you an experience, an event. I said it's not the information that changed our life. It's experiences that really affect us to the core, where these things don't just get in our head, they come down into our nervous system, where we see ourself, life, business differently. The event that I'm talking about is from a guy named Tony Robbins. And this guy has coached the best of the best in your business, actually in all business, from the Oprahs all the way down to people. We're in almost 1,000 prisons now. American Express just put Tony on the top 5 people in the world to turn on any business, because the biggest part of your business is you. It's not some sales tactic, or people don't buy your products, they buy you. So working on ourselves is so important. I've been to every event, every kind of seminar, landmark, all this stuff, and I think it's great. I think it's amazing. But none of it has had 1/100th the impact of this event, this guy, Tony Robbins. When I went there, I was one of those people at the back, and I know some of you guys have been. I was like, I wanted to go, but still I was one of those people the first day, arms crossed, like, this is going to be stupid, this is dumb, this is not for me, I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid. But Tony starts talking about patterns. And when he started talking about patterns, I realized that, you know what, I do some of that. And he made it very clear why we do what we do. So on that first day, he lays down a foundation of human need psychology. If you got your master's, psychology at Harvard today, you would study what Tony teaches. He's laid down a platform of why we do what we do, and there's really only 6 reasons that are driving us. So you're going to learn about why we do some of the things that we do. And then at the end of the day, he's going to talk about managing our state. I talked a lot about our emotions, and there are 3 patterns or habits that have got locked inside of you that control the way you feel. And it's more important for you to be in control of the way you feel as opposed to having the outside world control the way you feel. So the 3 patterns of this, I'm going to go through them really quick. 1 is what you focus on. You have a pattern of focus. Most people focus on the past, and they're always focused on the past. Their energy, even not consciously, their energy is focused in the past, and you feel disempowered if you focus on the past, because you can't change the past. You can't control the past. The past is the past. And the past doesn't control the future unless we keep on learning the patterns of the past. And we do that by focusing on the past over and over and over again. And you've heard this before. You can't drive forward looking in your rearview mirror. So often in life, we have experiences in the past that were painful or negative, and we make new decisions based on what happened in the past that has nothing to do with what's happening in the moment. So we have a pattern of focus. And the way that focus works is like this. If I ask you about your shoes, you think about it. If I ask you about your mom, you think about it. If I ask you about the best day of your life or the worst day of your life, you focus on it. And whatever you focus on, you feel. So you have a pattern of asking yourself questions. Why does this happen to me? Why don't I have the money? Why don't I have the time? Why am I so stressed? What's great? So we have patterns of focus, and whatever you focus on by asking yourself a question, how's your mom? How's the best day of your life? Whatever you focus on, you feel. And so we want to make sure that we focus on things that make us feel empowered. So that's the first pattern that we have. And you have a pattern of focus. Second pattern is physiology. If 10 people walked into your house tonight, 1 was confident, the other 9 were not confident, you'd be able to tell right away by looking at them, their eye contact, their voice, their posture. It's a pattern of physiology. And it's not them faking it. They say, fake it till you make it. That's not true. It's authentic. When you really feel you're breathing full, a lot of times people get stressed. They hold tension. That's not confident. That's not certain. That's not what's going to make you feel most alive. So you have a pattern of physiology. Basically, it's how you move and breathe. So you got to get yourself feeling really good. That's going to affect the way you feel. And then the third pattern is the pattern of language and meaning. It's like that little voice inside of your head. Again, that voice is not you. It's just a pattern. It's just your thoughts. It has nothing to do with you, just a pattern. 96% of the thoughts you had today, same ones you had yesterday. It's just a pattern. How many of you have a little voice inside of your head? 20 voices, 30 voices, 50 voices? We all got these voices. And so you're going to figure out what these patterns are inside of you, and they change the way that you feel. So that's the first day. And then at the end of the first day, once we're able to condition ourselves to get into a certain state, realizing how we can get ourselves out of negative behavior, we're going to do something called the fire walk. You guys have obviously walked on fire, yes? Awesome. So I know some of you have done this. When I went to the event, my first thought was, so Tony shows the flames up on the screen, and my first thought was, it's not real. This is stupid. I'm not going to do it. I'll do it next time. I had this immediate, so we have an experience in life. And check this out. We have condition. So we're all anchored. We have stimulus, response. Something happens in your life, and we have an automatic reaction to it. So Tony shows the flames up on the screen. My first thought was, it's not real. It's stupid. I'll watch other people. And I realized this by the end of the day. My whole life, when there were opportunities in front of me, business opportunities, anything, my first thought was, it's not real. It was a pattern. And being a cynic, putting everything down, do you think that affected my success, my family, my health, my quality of life? Of course it did. And I realized by the end of the day, because he puts you in an environment where you make immediate thoughts, and then you catch yourself and you start to recondition yourself. And I realized for myself, I had all these patterns. And at the end of the first day, what you actually do, it is real. You step outside and you go there and you walk across a bed of 2,000 degrees, burning hot coals, 15 feet. My first thought was like, it's not real. But then I realized what I was doing my entire life. I see a girl I want to talk to. Oh, she probably has a boyfriend. I see a business opportunity. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. So I was conditioned. I was conditioned mentally and emotionally. So instead of stepping up, my mind would find an excuse and I stepped back. I had a belief that affected my potential, what actions I took or didn't take that affected my results. It's those beliefs that I got conditioned with from experiences in the past that were creating my results, and you decide you want to change. So you put yourself into a state and you condition yourself to see the fire, but now you feel strong. See the fire, feel strong, make your move, ba-boom, ba-boom, and then you celebrate. And you see people at these events jumping up and down, celebrating. It's not to have a rah-rah session. It's actually conditioning positive anchors inside your nervous system. And anchors work like this. Say you hear a certain song on the radio, you think about your high school dance. Or maybe you smell a certain cologne, a certain perfume, and you think about somebody. That's an anchor. We all have positive anchors in us that make us feel good, but you've all picked up unconscious, negative anchors in your environment, even in your home, that make you feel off, lazy. You focus on something, you think about something, and it puts you into a state where maybe you overeat or sleep in or have a negative conversation. And from that state of not being resourceful, we fall into these patterns. We go through a day, wake up, and this becomes our life. And year goes by, year after go by, year goes by. So you're going to start to develop what are some of these patterns and start to change them. And you're going to create some anchors within yourself. So you walk there, you get to the other side of the coals, you start to have this amazing state, and you condition it inside of yourself. You say, you know what, if I can do that, I can do anything. That's day one. Day one by itself will change your life. Day two is about the science of success conditioning. And Tony's made some changes to the event this year. On the second day, his book came out last year called Money Master the Game. Some of you might have read it. He basically breaks down the financial industry. And Tony lives here in Florida now because for tax reasons, this is why I'm here too. But he really broke down finances in a really good way. And so the most successful people in the world financially, all been coached by Tony Robbins. He brings up Paul Tudor Jones. It's been 21 years now, 5 days a week. This guy's been coached by Tony Robbins. He has a $400 billion hedge fund, the biggest one in the world. 5 days a week, 21 years, coached by Tony Robbins. So you're going to learn some of these principles from Tony about finances on the second day, be very powerful for you. But one of my favorite parts of the second day, Tony teaches these principles of success and communication. You learn a lot about rapport. Is rapport important? What do you think? It's huge. Important with your family, important with your business. Rapport means responsiveness with other human beings. And in this business, you're going to have to be dealing with a lot of human beings. It's a people business. And the third day, though, the third day is the most powerful day. Everybody, please write this down, actually. Write this down. Write down the word Transformation Day. Transformation Day. And the reason it's called Transformation Day is this. I've been talking all about patterns all night and habits. And the way I want you to think about patterns and habits that we've been conditioned with are like this. It's kind of like this CD. So this, we can all agree this is a CD. If I put this into a CD player, a laser hits it, and we hear the music. Or in this case, we hear Tony Robbins, because it's a Tony Robbins CD. So there's an invisible pattern that's been ingrained into this CD. Just like there are invisible patterns ingrained into you. Your consistent thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, how you see the world, there are patterns that affect the way you show up in your life inside of your nervous system that have been conditioned over time. So let's imagine this. Let's imagine for a minute that, let's say Becky and I are good friends. Say we've been talking for a long time. And whenever we see each other, we go into a pattern. Just like when you guys tonight got on this call, you went into a pattern. Even some of your breathing changed. When you go home, you go into a pattern. When you talk to your kids, you go into a pattern. When you go out there and prospect, you go into a pattern. So Becky and I see each other, we just go into our pattern. Just like when you see your best friend, you start talking about the same stuff. You start going into your pattern. So we go into this pattern, and we're just talking. And then imagine somebody comes in here and they ask me a question. Remember earlier I said that questions control focus. Somebody asked me a question. They come in here, but they ask me a crazy question. They say something like, Eli, would you eat this CD for $1,000? And it takes me off my pattern, takes me off my rhythm. And I go, why in the world would you ask me to eat this CD? And it just completely gets me off. And then I talk to the person for a minute, and then I look back at Becky and I go, what are we talking about? You ever done that? You're doing something, somebody asks you a question, and then you're like, what was I doing? Oh, it interrupted the pattern. It interrupted your pattern. So it's like me taking this CD and I take a needle and I scratch it one time. It interrupted the pattern. So now the CD will skip, but it goes back to the pattern. Just like when the person asked me a question, it skips, but it goes back. Now, what would happen to the CD if I scratched it 10,000 times over 3 days? It wouldn't play the same music anymore. So with this event, the reason we have people coming here from 80 countries around the world, the reason the most successful human beings have come is because no matter who you are, doesn't matter if you're the most successful person, the most challenged, we've all got patterns. Some of them empower us, some of them limit us. You're going to discover the 3 most limiting patterns in your life. And for some of you, it relates to the things that we wrote down, but for a lot of us, it's something deeper. It's that place, that insecurity, that doubt, that experience that you had that has been limiting you. It takes you out of the moment. You're going to find the most limiting ones in your life, and you're going to destroy them so that they never play the same way again. For 10,000 times, you're going to scratch this CD inside of you by changing your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your state, changing the patterns and how you feel about the experiences. It is an unbelievable experience. That's why people come, because it really does work. The only reason people come from all over the world is one reason: results. So it's 3 days with Tony, and it is unfreaking real. And for you guys, we have something very, very special. I mean, it's special for everybody. I have a nutrition and kinesiology background. I went to University of Maryland. That's my background. But on the 4th day, we have a bonus day. And I thought I knew everything about health. But I tell you, Tony does this bonus day called Health Day. I learned more about health and the nervous system and digestion than I even thought possible. And so imagine this for yourself. So I say this: health is wealth. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. It's the most important thing. So for you guys, and I'm just now thinking of this, you guys in your business, we're going to have, by the way, I don't know how many people were at the last event you went to, but we just had the one in Los Angeles. We had 9,750 people there. This one in West Palm Beach, Florida, we're cutting it off at 10,000. So the events have over doubled in size. Tony's doing less and less events every year, so that's why they're getting bigger and bigger. And so he's not doing a lot more of these. This one's going to be 10,000 people. Imagine 10,000 people go through an event where they've changed their psychology. They feel like they're looking for a vehicle to get more out of life. Most people are not happy in their jobs. Most people are not happy in their health. So on the 4th day, Tony's going to be there spending about 9 hours talking about health and about how to make your life better. It'd be pretty awesome for you guys to bring some business cards and have some conversations. It'd probably be pretty great for your business to be there. Just a thought. So the last day is about health. And I believe that health is one of the most important areas of your life. Who here thinks that spending a few days in a room, 3.5 days, with a top success coach on earth would do something to improve your life? Yes. Who here is interested in improving their life? And if we were ever going to do something to improve our lives, now would be the best time. So we have this, so basically this, I don't have like an order form or anything like that, but I tell you this, how many people are on this call? Becky, how many people are on the call? Like 200 people. Wow, that's amazing. Everyone, that's amazing. So here's the deal. Basically, I don't know if they sent you an order form. And Becky, we had the event here. When did you go to the event, Becky? And if you could come on the audio, I'd like to talk to you for a minute. If you can hear me. In February last year? Awesome. Oh, I think she's frozen.
Okay. Hello. I'm back.
How to go back to the time frame. Oh my God.
My computer froze. Is he there?
So I just want to ask you a question real quick. I know you went to the event, I guess about a year ago. Is that right?
Yeah, we went in March in 2015 to New Jersey.
And what was your experience? Did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was mind-blowing. Like I told you on the phone yesterday, I wasn't ready to implement it. But it did open my eyes to a lot of my limiting beliefs, and the things that were holding me back became very clear. I loved it. It was great. I loved it.
Tony's pretty good. And I mentioned people, Tony, if you go to this event, people, Mother Teresa had worked with Tony, Nelson Mandela, Princess Diana coached by Tony for 8 years. It's really special. And so he does less of these things every single year. So I tell people, if you can see this man, it is absolutely amazing. And so I went to it back in 2005, and I literally paid $800 for a general admission seat. And when I signed up for the event, I had $300 in my bank account. But Tony said to me, I went to an event and I was listening to the audio. I went to one of those like learning annex events with like Donald Trump, Robert Kiyosaki, Susie Orman, and I paid $100 to go. And for me, that was like so much freaking money. I couldn't believe I was spending that much money, even $100 to go. But Tony said some things, and I knew that I needed to get my butt to this event. So I went with $300 in my bank account. I signed up for this thing. It was $800 to go to it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to find a way to get there. I was literally living on the back part of Santa Monica, California. And the back part of Santa Monica, there's a little airport back there. The next day after I saw Tony, I put up flyers all around this park called Cloverfield Park. And I started my first company. It was called Gymless Fitness. I trained people with balls and bands in a park in Santa Monica, California for donation only 3 times a day. And I made $2,800 in 2 weeks. So I say to people, it's never the resources, it's the resourcefulness. And when I figured out I couldn't go, I had this hard talking with myself. I was like, Eli, how old are you? And I was like 25 at the time when I went to this. And I said, man, I've been out of high school for 8 years and I only got $300 to my name. Obviously, I got some patterns. And if this guy is the best in the world at changing them, I'm going to get myself there. So when I went to the event, we have a few different options of seating. I'm just going to go through those really, really quick. We got the diamond sections right up front. If you want to sit in the first few rows, I know Oprah's going to come to this event again. You can sit with some of the most successful people in the world. It's not about celebrity, but we do have this option where you can network with some of the very successful people in the area. It guarantees you seating in the first few rows. You get a catered lunch and dinner every day where you get to network with other diamond level people. So the first section is called Diamond, and the investment for that is either $29.95 or $23.95, depending on what level. When I went to the event, my car was worth like $2,000. So I did not sit diamond. If you can do it, it's amazing experience. But I sat all the way in the back. I sat general admission. General admission makes up the back half the audience. The regular price for that is $10.95. And yes, there's going to be a discount. I'll give that in a minute. So it's $10.95 for general. And then we have something called executive, which is a little bit closer. That is $13.95. And then we have VIP, which is right behind the diamond section. It's $16.95. And so real quick, here's what we do. If we have 7 people signing up, they give like a discount, but I don't know who is always interested. And I know you guys are all over the country. Basically, here's what it is for the pricing. So it's usually $16.95 for VIP. We make it $10.95, but if we get 7 people signed up, basically you get a free upgrade. So it would be $8.95 for VIP, and the executive would be $6.95, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So if there's 7 people signing up, and let me know who's all interested. And if we get 40 people signing up, there's a better discount. So I just signed up 40 people at a meeting today, just off of a phone call. I think 67 people signed up. So if you can do it, if we get 40 together, it'd be another $100 off of any section. So let me know if you guys are interested. But yeah, I just want to share some tools and tips with you. And I tell people, if you can do this, this is amazing. Tony has been doing 3 live events in the US every year. This will be the last one. So he does all day the first day. He doesn't do the second day because of his throat. And the third day, he does all day that day. And then the fourth day is never done. So he's there for 2 full days. This is the last event that he's doing 2 full days. So the next event we have is going to be in Dallas, middle of next year. Tony will do a half day on the first day and a half day on the third day. He is phasing out live events. We have a documentary that's premiering at Sundance this year called I'm Not Your Guru. And Tony's going to be doing some new things, but it's going to be endorsed by every celebrity. And so he's doing less and less live events, but we're getting the message out there. So I say to people, if you can see this man, and by the way, just so you know, the $700, it works out to like $13 an hour. When I went to this event, I sold myself on it. I said, for $13 an hour, I paid like $80,000 for my college education, didn't do anything with it. But for $13 an hour to see the top success coach in the world, it's worth it. And, I tell people, if you can't get to this thing because of money, that's the reason that you need to go. It's not our resources, that's our resourcefulness. And if you find a way to get to this, it will make your business better. It will make your life better. Warren Buffett was on CNN again recently. They said, Warren, what's the best investment somebody can make if they want to make their life better? Not stocks, not gold, not silver, not real estate. He said the best investment is to invest in yourself. And that's why even Warren Buffett has invested lots of money with Tony Robbins. I think there's lots of great stuff out there, but the best of the best in the world have all been to one event with one guy. And this is the one. So write down the dates for yourself. It's March 10th through the 13th. And it's going to be in West Palm Beach, Florida. And it is awesome. So that's my time, guys. If you guys want to go to the event, basically I have an order form, but basically all you would need to do is email me or contact me. I would just take down your information over the phone, get you signed up. We send you an email confirmation. You also get $900 for the free stuff. We give you a 12-week e-course, behavioral assessment, And you're also going to get a 1-hour coaching session on the phone after the event to make sure you actually have a system to implement everything that you learn. So you mentioned that you have a coach, Becky. We're going to give everybody a free 1-hour coaching session to make sure that they're actually have a real system to apply all this stuff into your life. So we try to help everybody get there the best they can. So that's my time. Thank you guys so much for being there. Becky, was there anything that you wanted to share?
No, I mean, you completely, I think everybody's very, very impressed and very happy. You nailed it for us. I'm really appreciative. Thank you so much for your time. Guys, do you want me to just give them your email address? How do you want to do that? Because I can post it in the team page for people who are interested in going.
I will put my personal email address up here now. And I'll give it to you, Becky. But that is it. EliRWilHilde@hotmail.com.
I have to agree that, guys, I mean, you guys know my experience last year. The mindset shift had me, rethinking a lot of things in my life. And you change your mindset, you change your life. You're holding yourself back. So make the decision to invest in yourself. Go see Tony Robbins. Invest in changing, but implement. That's the key. You have to take action, massive action to change your life.
Massive. Yeah.
Massive action.
And I put my phone number up there as well. So people can call me or email me and I'll talk to them. And if they have questions about, trying to get there, affording it, all that stuff, I tell people, I'll work with you and we can work out a payment plan and that stuff. I'll help you get there. But if you really want to get to this thing, it's by the second day of the event. If you don't think it's like life-changing, they give you all your money back. So it's a money back guarantee when more people have had more success from this one event than anything else. So if you can get there, let me know and I'll help you get there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We'll relay all the information. We'll put it on team page and they'll contact you. But thank you so much. Chris, do you have anything you want to add before we log off?
I'm for the first time ever, I'm pretty much speechless.
Yeah, it was a great call. Thank you so much. I think we all, right now need to refocus on our mindset and getting ready to blow up 2016. So we're excited. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Eli.
Bye. Take care.
All right,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
We'll stay in touch. Good night, everybody.